Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am going to share a little bit about some elements and also about how to just move energy, maybe when you first get up in the morning, or maybe if you've been traveling or sitting for an extended period of time. So rub your hands together first. Inhale and exhale. And these inhales and exhales are out through the mouth when you exhale and inhale through your nose. And then shake your hands out. And then you're going to tap. Now you want to tap right underneath that collarbone there. And some people find it better to brush, but if these are tender, you probably need to do this with some regularity. The tenderness will go away. This is blocked energy. That's all it is whenever you feel tenderness, it's blocked energy. So our goal is to move our energy. Inhale again and exhale. And then one in the center of the chest. Inhale and exhale. And I like to think of these places that we're tapping as thymus and thyroid. And right where I'm tapping now would be thymus because it's in the center of the chest. But the thyroid is right in this area here. And our breath brushing over it has a huge effect on it. And our heartbeat has an effect on the thymus. Inhale again, let it go. And then we're going to come in underneath the arms. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to tap, 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 tap. You can go down the sides. I like to think of these as spleen, stomach, large intestine, pancreas, everything that has to do with digestion and taking things in and processing them. That's why I like to do this one. And there are days where this is very, very tender. So inhale again and exhale. Shake your hands out. And then come up to your cheekbones and you're going to tap on your cheekbones. So you're tapping in on those cheekbones. Try to have your feet flat on the floor. You could do this standing up if you want. And I consider this a meridian, and so does Oriental medicine. This is another digestion meridian, the stomach. Inhale big, let it go. Shake your hands out again. So we're going to take the hands over the forehead and you're going to do the sound of water. And the sound for water is, it's the woo sound, right? Inhale nice and deep. And then I'm going to move my hands for the wood sound. I'm going to put them in the back of my head, one on my neck, one on the back of the curve of my head. And the wood sound is shh. And then we're going to move on to the fire sound. And the fire sound, I'm going to have you hands. Some people like to cross and hold their shoulders. I like to try and grab that flesh of the neck there and just hold that. Just because it's a good way of kind of grounding yourself, because fire goes everywhere. Take a deep breath in, and that is the sound of ah, right? So inhale. And then we're going to move on to the earth sound. And I'm digressing from some of the things that I've been taught because I really like this one and I think it really moves energy a lot. So you take fists and you pull them in tight and you take an inhale in and you go shh. And you do it again. Pull it in and shh. And pull it in. And I push this down towards the earth this time. And then the last sound is the sound of metal, and it's the S sound. And so that S sound, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to just put this out in front of us, because this is about grief and transformation. And I'm going to add this at the end of this. I'm going to talk about all of the emotions attached to these. And your fingers are separated, and you're going to take a breath in, and you're going to raise your arms up, and you're going to and then come back again. And then once again, but this time touch your fingers together. There are so many different versions of these sounds attached to where you place your hands on your body. These are the ones that I like to utilize, but I change them. So the metal sound is about grief and transformation. It's also about your skin and your hair. When we're in grief, sometimes we get disconnected from what's inside this skin, right? So we have to connect back to it. The earth sound is about worry and compassion, and it regulates the blood, right? So you're that worry out so that there's space for compassion. The fire sound is about panic and joy, and it is regulating our blood vessels so that lets out some of that hot air, that heat that we can't disperse that sometimes we hold in, especially if you carry a lot of fire. So that makes space for joy. And then the wood is about anger and assertiveness. And so when we're doing that wood sound, I mix those together. We're working towards letting go of anger, but having assertiveness, because it is an action, that assertiveness. We need that energy of the anger. And then it is the guide on the muscles, tendons, and ligaments, right? The muscles and the tendons and the ligaments work in this relation. And we constantly have to kindle them because there's a lot of connective tissue in there. And the ligaments and tendons, they keep the bones in place, but the muscles articulate the bones. And we're going to go back and we're going to do water again. And so what I want you to do is just put your hands on your head, and you're going to inhale again, and you're going to blow out the candle. You're going to blow out your fears. So there's space for hope. And this is about the bones and the fluids and your teeth. So you can do this in the daytime. If you've done a lot of traveling, the last thing I want you to think about is crossing yourself, and just crossing yourself and crossing yourself. So whenever you travel, you can, from one shoulder down to the opposite hip, from the other shoulder down to the opposite hip, and you brush it off your thighs if you're sitting down. Thank you for being here. And I'll be posting again soon. Thank you.